Akuila Uate, thank you for joining me on NRL Fans WA. Really appreciate you giving me your time, buddy.
Yeah, no worries, man. Appreciate it for reaching out, man.
It's all good, mate. I'll just give you a bit of a rundown what I'm trying to do with the page, mate. I'm trying to promote the game here in Perth. Trying to get more people involved, playing the game. Getting into clubs, all that sort of stuff, and also something we'll get talking into a bit later, but talking about getting the NRL to notice Perth for possible 18th team. So I'm just trying to promote the game over here and get it bigger and better.
Doing a great job, man. Anything's possible, bro.
That's it, mate. So you're born in Vatua in Fiji?
Yeah, I was born in the interior of Savi and then moved over to Vatua, for schooling and all that when his mum was working at Vatua, but I'm right in the interior.
Oh, okay.
Because mum had to work, so she came and live with auntie. Well, I was still with her parents, my grandparents. Yeah, man, just long story short, I'm here now, man. I can't believe it.
Yeah, that's it. So you moved over to Australia about 2003, was it?
2003, yeah, moved over.
How was that change for you going from Fiji to Australia with, I guess, a bigger population?
Yeah, definitely, man. It's a massive change for me, man. Like just a culture change, really. And I kind of just taking it day by day, really. I came over for school just to finish till year 12 and then, kind of do my best at school and then go back home after year 12. And, man, just blessing on blessing, man. I got to achieve all these achievements, which I never dreamt of. I always dream of playing sevens and, playing rugby sevens. That was part of my dream. But, at the end of the day, Ben, it's not up to you. It's up to the man above, Yeah, man, I went to Kema from Fiji. That was massive. That was just a culture shock for me. But at the same time, I was excited seeing different things and learning about, English first, just learning how to speak English and understanding, the culture over here. There's a different lingo, but, I got there at the end.
Definitely, mate. Speaking of all your blessings, mate, your career. I mean, I was reading up on it and, mate, you've absolutely had a hell of a career. Like anyone, to play one game in the NRL is a highlight, but to play you played 212 NRL or 212 first grade games, and then you played a whole bunch of representative footy as well. Like when you look back at your career, is there anything you sort of take out of it that's made you into the man that you are today?
Man, first of all, I didn't think I was going to go that far. But at the same time, I kind of just look back and just the upbringing and getting from Fiji, coming to Australia, and just pretty much been grateful for everything that I've had. And I just kind of as I said before, I took everything day by day. I never rush anything. And every time, I got to training, I'll make the most of that day. And man, I still couldn't believe it myself when I speak to, talk to my family, and they always look at me as like a village kid. But man, just looking back now, man, I have no regrets. I enjoyed every moment of it, and all the rep footy, man. I didn't even know at the start. I didn't even know what rep footy was until you get on the field and play. But man, I'm still shocked at the moment. Like not now, but every time I speak about football, because since I retired, I've just been enjoying the life at home with the kids.
Wow, that's beautiful, mate. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I was looking back at your stats. I mean, you played from 2008 to 2016. You played at Newcastle, 161 games there. You're the leading try scorer for the club in the history at the moment. I mean, that's a hell of a try. An achievement considering the players that have played there. You went to Manly. Wasn't a long stint there,
2 years there.
Yeah, I mean, you played 39 games and then you go over to Huddersfield.
Mate,
like I said, just just the NRL game or the first grade games that you play
Yeah.
is a hell of an achievement.
Oh, that's
It's amazing, isn't it? Like
it is,
know,
man. Like just listening to you, explaining to all that, because I know the only memory that I had up is when I played my 200th game.
Yeah.
And past all those games, I normally get updated from, the staff. It's like, hey, you're playing. I remember when I was in Newcastle, I got reminded that I was my 50th game before kickoff, For me, it was just going out there and have fun, really. And, I just loved the game.
Yeah.
And then 50, go to 100, go to 150, go to 200. I just have no memory of it. And kind of that 200 game that I played, that's probably the only memory that I have, because it was like, oh, that man, I've got to 200 games. It's crazy, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to run through your rep stats now. So from 2006. So before you even made your NRL debut, you get to debut for Fiji.
Yeah.
You play 18 games all up for them. You've played Prime Minister's 11 against Papua New Guinea and stuff. The NRL All-Stars game, New South Wales Country game, New South Wales in State of Origin. You get to play for Australia as well. And then you play for the World All-Stars as well. I mean, it's like I was going through those games and I was just like, holy hell, like this is, like I said, one NRL game is an achievement, but to play all of this sort of stuff as well.
It is, man.
It's a hell of a career,
Definitely.
Buddy.
It is. Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
No, it's all good, mate. Like, and obviously the hard work that yourself has put into it, obviously your family helping you get along that way as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Would have helped big time to sort of drive you to work hard at training, work hard at the games.
Yeah, that's right, man. Family's such a big part of my life. And my first couple of years since SG ball all the way up to first grade was only just pretty much just me and mum. Really, that was my motivation. Just knowing that I was meant to just come here to Australia to finish school to year 12 and go back, and just being part of mum's life and just being there looking after her and just work. But when I finished year 12, I finished my HSC, I just kind of told mum, I think I've found another path. Instead of coming home, I might make this as a career, and I just go through it. And then pretty much I had mum everywhere I go, really. I talk to her every single day. I still talk to her every single day now, and nothing's changed. I've got 4 kids later. I'm married. Yeah, man, she was pretty much the biggest motivation. There's 5 of us. I'm the youngest out of 5. So
yeah, right.
Yeah, it's always the young one that mommy's boy. So
that's it.
Yeah, so man, she's a massive part of my pretty much half of my career until I moved on. I had 1, 2, 3, 4 kids and got married, but she's still part of the whole journey.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, family's such a big part of my life, bro.
No, that's beautiful, mate. That's beautiful. I mean, I know exactly how you feel because I've got, between me and my partner, we've got 12 kids between us. So,
mate, I love big families, so that doesn't surprise me, brother.
Yeah, so we've got 12 kids, mate. So and all the stuff that we do. I mean, I coach two teams for my local rugby league club, the girls netball.
Yeah, that's
I'm
awesome.
also vice president of the rugby league club, so it's all for the kids for me. It's just family.
Definitely. But just going back to what you're saying, about coaching and giving all your best now with the young kids coming through. That's such a big. When I was coming through, that was such a big part of my career as well, because without you guys going out there and doing the best you can without pay and just doing little clinics, that meant so much to such a little kid, man. You know what I mean? For me alone, just coming through that grade and just learning rugby league alone, how to play the ball, how to kick chase, how to tackle, and pretty much everything. That's the thing that I've got so much respect to you guys on going and doing that. It's kids take a lot of stuff, man. They take it in and they'll remember that for the rest of their life. And I still do, man. I'm 35. I'm retired now, and I'm still grateful to. I still see those old people that helped me throughout my career, and they're still alive. And I'm still looking out for them. I'll catch up with them. I'll ring them because they've been such a big part of my career as well.
Yeah.
Just learning part of it, man. That's what I said, and going back to what you said, man. And not just me, man. I'm grateful for all those times. I always look back to people that helped me throughout just learning the game, and I appreciate what you're doing, man.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you very much, bud. Thank you. I appreciate that. And that's a big thing with local junior clubs, all that sort of stuff, is the volunteers, the people that get in there every week, the coaches, the managers, all that sort of stuff that get in there help. And that makes the kids,
100%.
it makes the kids' environment, and
Yeah.
obviously, like I said, none of us get paid, and we're there for the kids. So yeah,
Exactly, and that means a lot, man, because as I said before, when I was only coming through, I wasn't a kid, man. I was pretty much a teenager, but still a teenager going to an adult. But that's something that stuck with me, because without you guys, man, like there's no way that any kid will learn how to play the ball and doing all these tackle techniques, even though when you become a teenager and adult, it starts to get boring because you think you know more than, you know what I mean? Yeah. But you guys are doing a great job, because before they get to that teenager and adult, mindset, they already know pretty much the skills they need to know,
Yeah.
And you're always going to be telling them, you already got it because I already told you. I already told you. I still get that from now. Like, I taught your dad how to tackle to my son, and that sometimes, that's just a vibe, bro, because you have that, even though you don't see each other for so long, when you get to talk on the phone or text message, it's still the same. It's like you talk to them every single day. That's the thing I take it for probably the rest of my life, man. Just that the friendship that you have for such a long time, even though you're getting older, I still think for me alone, it's not upbringing. I can't make that as an excuse, but for me alone, when I get to know someone that took me a lot, or I take that in like they are part of my family. And that's something that I think every teenager or an NRL should take that on board, because it's so important to them as well. Because when you get to a certain level and you don't look back and you just keep going, and it just sometimes that's just a massive reminder of, in any sport really, it's a massive reminder of, sometimes think back, look back, get in touch, because without them, you're not going to be where you are today. And for me, as I said before, my mom was such a big motivation for me,
Yeah.
And yeah, man. But you're doing a great job, man. Just keep going. You don't keep count of people, how much people that you help, but it will come back to you in the future, man.
No, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, mate. I really do.
Good, brother.
We'll get back into your career, mate.
Yep.
In 2008, mate, you make your debut against the Sharks. Do you remember that week sort of leading up to it?
Round 19 against the Sharks. I still remember my first game.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I was playing Premier League then, and we played on a Friday night, I think. And I was training with Premier League. We had a bye that weekend, so I already had plans, just going out a few beers with the boys. And then I remember Brian Smith called me up and goes, you have to come to training on a Thursday. We play on a Friday. You're making your debut. Back then it was old school. You just get caught up, you turn up.
Yeah.
I had that thing all week, man. I wasn't nervous. I was excited at the same time. But the nerve hit when I got to the stadium, I've always watching them. And before then, a couple of weeks before then, I was 18 man for, I think seven straight games. I didn't get to play until last minute. But that debut week was pretty fun. I still remember, man. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I didn't know whether I was playing. And then Thursday they called me up. So Thursday morning I come to come to the cap run, you're playing, you're making your debut. That was such an old school thing, and I was nervous, but I was excited at the same time, knowing yeah, I was pretty excited. I was a little bit nervous, but I was excited, going to the game and making my debut, and knowing that I've ticked that box now. And now I'm 100% knowing that I'm playing on that week. So, as you said before, the one game that means a lot, just because you don't know the rest of your career. I just needed that one game. Oh man, I just remembered I was cramping the first 10 minutes because I didn't know how. Yeah, I go through it. Go through it at the end, man. Yeah. Can't forget those days. Can't forget the first game and your last game.
That's it, mate. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Like I said before, that you debuted for Fiji before you played the NRL game. How was the nerves going for the Fiji game, your first Fiji game, to playing in the NRL?
I'm never nervous when I represent my country.
Oh, beautiful.
Because we sing, we worship, we praise the man above every single time we get. It starts from devotion in the morning during the week before to the game. It's just a different vibe, man. You just feel like you're home. I feel like I've never left Fiji. I feel like I'm doing devotion every night, every morning. That was part of our program. We did devotion and doing all that stuff more than we trained. But it's leading to that first game of Fiji. It was just a nerve, but excited. Just put that jersey on, man. I'm going there to represent my family and everyone that I represent in Fiji. Living home for so long.
Yep.
Now I get a check. Every time I put that jersey on, that's pretty much me being home,
Yeah,
but it's a good feeling. I love the Fiji camp. Yeah,
mate. Yeah, I talked to Ashton Sims about that too, and he loved representing Fiji as well. It was just that it was just so powerful for him. Getting back to his mother's culture. Yeah,
it would be powerful for the boys that were born and raised here, because it's a different culture. You got to learn a lot of stuff. So we try and make it easier for the boys overseas as well. Like, just the songs and singing Fijian songs and just teaching them little things that they want to know. It's for me, I still speak fluently, man.
Oh, nice.
So I can't lose that. That's for sure.
No, definitely, mate. I'm because my missus is Māori, so my kids were fluent in Māori when since they've moved to Australia. I get on their case. I speak more Māori, and I'm Australian, so I'm like, start talking it, So because I don't want them to lose it.
Yeah, well, they will never lose it, but it's just we live in a 21st century now where they've got a lot of stuff that we never had, but we're still grateful they have it because we never had it, Yeah. But hey, that's life, man.
That's it, mate. You get to represent New South Wales as well, mate. So you go from representing Fiji, playing your NRL, all that sort of stuff, to representing New South Wales on, I guess, the biggest stage in any rugby league sporting event. Especially in Australia. How was that for you?
Man, that just representing this when I made that team, I was that's probably most nervous I've had. We trained for the whole week leading to the next Wednesday's game. Nervous, and I tried so much different things. It never worked because I was still nervous. That's from day one I get to camp, and it just that nerve just hit different, man, because you're representing your state, and the game is totally different to just the normal first grade games. It's just next level. I don't know how the boys are doing it now, but now it's a bit different. But still, it's the best game I've ever played. But to be honest, I love the atmosphere. I just love just the week following into the game, man. It's just the prep. it's crazy, but like, man, I enjoyed, I think my 5 games that I played for New South Wales, even though we didn't win, we won a couple out of the 5, but every time that game comes on, it's just a different feeling, you know?
Yeah. Well, as a Queensland supporter, I was hoping that you weren't going to be unmarked out on the wing because there was no chance of catching you.
Oh, man, you know.
I know you were hoping for that, but I wasn't.
I copped a lot from my family because they were all Queenslanders. They were Queensland fans, and I said, "That's all right, man. I got to put this on. That's for sure. And it's something that I will cherish for the rest of my life."
Oh, absolutely,
But,
mate. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
That's it.
Great feeling, bro.
Yeah, definitely, mate. I bet it was. I just want to get into it's a bit of a, I guess, personal question. You know, with your life, and I'm not just talking about rugby league and stuff.
Yep.
Have you gone through like a really low point in your life? You know, and if so, how did you sort of get through it?
Probably the lowest point, you know, pretty much when I moved to Australia, that's probably my lowest point. Just being away from mum for such a long time. I had to stay for 2 years without going back to Fiji just to get my, you know, resident really. My lowest point is probably, I mean, it still hits me now. It's just pretty much losing the people that, you know, it's just because I couldn't get back at a certain time. Even talking about it now, I still get that goosebumps, you know what I mean? Yeah. Probably losing my my family, really. Like I've lost a lot of friends, like my grandparents. They were like such a big part of my life. Yeah, man, just losing people pretty much every year till today, man. Just that feeling of not being there. You still support and send stuff over, send money over, but just knowing that you're not there, but you're always there for them. They're always there for you when you're a kid until, you know, you move over. But yeah, just losing pretty much the closest people in my life, that's probably the lowest point. If you're talking about footy, you know, I'm the happiest person, but like, even like probably the lowest, you know, during for footy is probably pretty much having that, you know, that you've played that bad, you've dropped balls. And that was, see, the thing for me is when I make a mistake, I don't carry it with me.
Yeah.
And the best thing on making mistake is you getting better the next game. And during the week, you just work on the little things. For me, it was catching because, you know, obviously you drop a lot of balls as a winger or as a fullback. And you have those down times, man. And I will always tell myself, why am I worrying about this too much? It's just a game of football. You lose some, you win some. And for me, it was just having my family, really. You know, my brothers were still close to me then. You know, they live, but now they live in Mount Isa. But that's the thing. There's, I know you've probably spoken to different people. They've got a different mindset than I am. I'm the happiest from day one until, you know, people know me as a Mozzie. Like I'm always hyped. I bring different energy to training. When my teammates know that I'm done is when I'm not talking. You know, the only time, that's what I mean. When I'm not talking at training, there's something going through with my family, or I've lost a family. That's probably the only time. Yeah, that's the only thing I can explain. That's probably the lowest of the lowest that I can think of. But, you know, just speaking to you now, like probably the other part is that dropping the ball or having a bad read or bad defensive game. That's normal. You can't control that. It's happened already. That's for me, that's why you have coaches. That's why you have assistant coach. Use them. You know, do your video and you get through that hard time, you know. Yeah. But at the same time, that's probably, you know, going football base, that's probably because I'm a winger or I drop a lot of balls. I'm not ashamed of talking about it. Or bad read in defense. Yeah. My strength is power. My strength is running. My strength is scoring tries. My strength is attacking. Anything to do with attacking, that's me all day, every day. You know what I mean? Yeah. But when it comes to defense, but you have the best game and people put you up, you know. The thing that, if young kids are listening right now, it's the thing that I've learned during my year when I was playing is never let someone tell you what to do, man.
Yeah.
Because a lot of kids these days, teenagers, adults, you go through this mental health where you're so stuck in that little environment of yourself, that dark mind of yours, because you're listening to people, you drop the balls, because we live in this kind of age where you get picked on, you get bullied just because you've done that thing once.
Yeah.
You drop the ball once, you get told, stop dropping the ball, I'll drop you. You know what I mean? That shouldn't be happening, man.
Yeah.
Kids these days, they need to learn, man. The good thing about me, man, if young kids are listening right now, is when you make a mistake, just work on that thing that you think is right for yourself.
Yep.
You got to do you for you. If you drop the ball, get someone to kick and catch all day. That's what I've done. I always put my halves, get my halves kicking for me, or anyone really that's keen to do it. You don't drop your head. That's the last thing you got to do is, we live in now, we got social media. Back then, we never social media. You only just get updated on these things now because you learn from your kids or you learn from your wife or your friends. But looking back now, that's what I've done. I'm always smiling, always happy, man.
That's beautiful, mate.
It's just kids these days take things to the heart. Don't ever drop your head down, man. Because if you want to go to where you want to be, you got to go through those failures to get up to where you want to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for me, man, it was just such a blessing that I had that mindset of always learning. And I'm still learning now, man.
Yeah.
If I can speak English now, it's because I've gone through the failures back then to learn where I'm at now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the same thing, because everything about life is pretty much your football as well.
Yeah.
Life can be beautiful, man, if you make it beautiful.
Yeah.
And that was
Absolutely.
always been my message. Like, happiness is something that we can't choose. It's just there, but it's up to you. You'll be happy every day, and just waking up every day is just a blessing, knowing that you're alive again.
Yeah.
That's the thing I never took to the heart, because I know young people this day, they take things to the heart. They get bullied. Bully's not a good thing. But if you can improve yourself to prove those bullies wrong, do it, and just keep doing it until you get better. That's what I've done.
Yeah.
I never got bullied, but I've learned so much from all my failures, man, to get to where I'm at now. I'm happy. I'm happy still. I'm still smiling. I train 24/7. That's all, man. Like, that's just my little thing, but
Yep. No, it's beautiful, mate.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I couldn't agree more, and you're absolutely right. The kids these days, they are under a lot of pressure from a lot of different aspects, and it does get to them, that's why I put that question into all my interviews.
It's just one step at a time, man. You don't have to. You have 10 minutes free. Just go through your videos.
Yeah.
If you need to step, go work on it. It's easy. You just do it yourself, and just have the mindset of, I can do it. I can do it. There's any kid that always said, "Oh, I can't do that." Oh, you can do it. Just encouraging each other. That's, the difference between then and now is we used to encourage each other a lot back then. Now you live in with social media, it's just kind of, you stuff up, you just get picked on, But just having that mindset, man, like nothing is beautiful like for the rest of your life.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a roller coaster. Everyone goes through it. But if you keep going, it becomes beautiful at the end, man.
Yeah.
As the saying, is always a lot at the end. And that's 100%. And I truly believe that if you keep going and just keep going at it day by day, just keep believing it. As long as you believe yourself, but now you're unstoppable.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're watching much of the NRL and keeping up to news with the NRL these days, mate. But obviously, the Dolphins are coming in. Was it next year? I think it is, as the 17th team. What do you think Perth's chances are of being the 18th team?
Perth. I definitely agree, man. Because I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't really care what people think. This is just from me to you. Well, I think there's a lot of Sydney teams. I think we should, if we want to make NRL worldwide, we have to make it Australian worldwide. Because I feel like there's a lot of Sydney-based team. You know, I'm from Newcastle. We only got one based team in Newcastle, which is Newcastle. And you have Brisbane, you have North Queensland, and you have the. I definitely agree to having, a team in NRL Perth for sure, man.
Yeah.
You know, I've played in Perth a couple of times. I think with Manly, did we play in Perth?
Yeah.
Manly?
Yeah. You played the Warriors over here.
Yeah, the Warriors. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's getting there, man. I definitely think Perth should be the next NRL team for sure.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, I mean, I went to the State of Origin they had here a couple of years ago, and they've sold out the brand new stadium that they built. 60 odd thousand people there, and the same again this year. It's going to be sold out again. I know the tickets were hard to get within a week of the release of the tickets. So, the fan base is here. It's just a matter of, I guess, the NRL sort of taking notice of WA and Perth and going, "Hey, well, yeah."
That's right. At the end of the day, they just need that agreement, man. Just say yes, bro. Perth will follow through for sure, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I sort of put through to a couple of people.
At least you got all NRL team, man.
Yeah, sorry. I'll put through to a couple of people as well. The North Sydney Bears are trying to get back in as well. I've put through.
How good would that be if North Sydney Bears come back? Because it's such an old team that used to play in the first grade, long time. I'm sure all the old boys for North Sydney would appreciate that.
Well, see, I put it to a couple of people like Kerrod Walters and a few other people that I don't think the North Sydney Bears will get back in because there is too many teams in Sydney.
That's what I say. Yeah, true that.
I think that the best option for it would be to merge, for the North Sydney Bears to merge with the Perth team and have, the Perth Bears or the Western Bears or whatever it is, and they can play half the home games at North Sydney Oval, half of them in Perth, and therefore the Perth team has the North Sydney Bears followers all over Australia then, instead of just having the Perth supporters just in Perth.
Yeah,
that's
totally agree with that, man. That'd be awesome. Hopefully, fingers crossed, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fingers crossed. That'd be awesome.
Well, that's, like I said, that's the whole one of the points of this page is to get the NRL to notice that we deserve the 18th team, but hopefully that they'll higher up sort of see that we maybe need to merge with the North Sydney Bears, and it would be easier that way. I only got a couple more questions for you, mate. And like I said, I know you're busy. Just before we'll talk with that low point in your life, you gave some advice for kids. Have you got any other advice, I guess, for sporting wise? For them coming up and they're seeing your video today, and they go and watch your highlights and stuff like that. Have you got any advice for them of how they can get to that level?
Man, just appreciating every moment you have. The opportunity that I got, I appreciate every time, because it was never planned, And I just, every single time I've always I've been asked that question a lot, and I'll keep saying the same thing. Appreciate every moment, because you will never get that opportunity back. Yeah. When you appreciate that moment, man, people can just feel how much you really appreciate it, because you're going for it and you're giving it your 110% every time. And I know I did that when I was, even at training, I just run hard, because I knew that I was good on attack, Defense not so much, because I was still learning, and I'm still learning now. And just never stop trying, man. Just going back to the example, when I was in a 40-man squad for the Knights, and every single time I train, because I finish school half day and then travel up to Newcastle and train. I did catching the train. That's the other thing. If I'm saying this to teenagers, never give up and just keep going, because I traveled for 2 years in the train. Every after school, my main goal was to finish year 12. And if I had footy through when I was in year 10, but I caught the train from year 10. I had no excuse. I just got the train from year 10, 11 to year 12. When I finished HSC, I still do the same thing. But I remember coming in the train one time, and I keep telling myself, there's 40 men, there's 40 people, there's 39 of these boys have dreamt this since they were born. And you had that one Fijian kid that never dreamt of playing rugby league and getting to this point. And I just keep telling myself, I want to appreciate every moment I get to train today. Like, I just be that. And I will never change that, because that's just me. To answer your question, that's just appreciate every moment you get, because you just don't know.
Yeah.
And I did that for 2 years and going into 2.5 years. And I got picked in the actual team. That's in SG Ball. And then it just pretty much blessing on blessing, really. And I just kept the same thing. I never changed anything,
Yeah.
So nothing in life is promised. So I just take day by day, and I just kept going. I just stuck to that. Even when I was going through first grade training, I just appreciate every moment of it. That's why I'm always smiling. That's why I'm always happy, because I don't know if I'm going to smile again tomorrow. I don't even know if I'm going to wake up again the next day. You know what I mean? I'm just grateful that every moment I get to wake up every day, knowing I've got a contract, I've got a family, It's just that this is appreciation. I don't think a lot of these young kids these days don't appreciate a lot. There's always something. They want more. But that's, you got to appreciate every little thing that you have, because one day you're going to get to buy the things that you want.
Yep, absolutely. But
Appreciate the little thing first. Appreciate the little thing first. But just appreciate every moment, man. Just to answer your question. That's living in me for the rest of my life, and I'm never going to change that answer, because I stuck with it, through my schooling, and all the way through my first grade career, like from juniors to the first grade career, man. I just stuck with the same thing.
Oh, that's beautiful, mate.
Yeah, man.
That's so good to hear. Yeah, and like you said, a lot of kids don't appreciate. They want more, but they've got to be grateful and appreciate what they've got. So
exactly,
No,
I know how it feels now.
Yeah. Last thing, mate. What are you up to post career? What have you been up to post career? I know you've got your 4 kids.
Yeah, man. I at the end of before I made my decisions to come home, I kind of just sat down my family and just said, I know my body. I've done what I needed to do. I think my rugby league career is finished, and I just appreciate my wife so much, because she just kind of just took a next step. Okay, let's go home. We just started together. We're coming home, and because I got involved a lot, through all those programs that we used to do at the night, kind of disability, and I just kind of that's what I knew, what I love doing, and I just stuck with it, and I knew, I could do that for the rest of my life, because I've fallen in love in doing that, just helping people. And now, man, I'm working now with disability now, doing support worker. I've been doing it. It's pretty much announced. I've pretty much announced my retirement. The next day, I pretty much started my job. Really, and I'm grateful that I'm here, man. Yeah, man, just changing life and just appreciating everything. They just make you appreciate a lot of stuff. I know I appreciate a lot of stuff, but just working with these kids just gives you a different mindset of living. Like, I take this back to what I've learned from the kids that I'm working with. I take something and then just go and create something different at home. Take it to the next level. My kids don't like it, but tough luck, man. You have to go through this. But they will look back to the day that, dad said this. I remember it was doing that. That's something that you like hearing, when they get to a certain age where they appreciate a little bit more. But at the moment, they're just like, oh, Dad, do we have to do it again? Yeah, you have to do it. Just stuck with it. They come through. Yeah, I mean, I'm a full-time support worker, and I love doing this job. And the other thing, man, if you're listening and young kids listening, do what you love, because at the end of your career or whatever sport that you're into, if you're doing something that you don't really enjoy, it becomes a job to job kind of thing. But if you do something that you really love, like not just a support worker, if you want to be involved in coaching clinic, do it. You know, the different thing for me, people always ask me about, why don't you involve in rugby league? Why don't you involve in coaching? I said, look, I've done that for about 14 years. And I've appreciated all the learning and all that stuff. Yeah, I love helping kids, but I want to do it my way, you know, because, you know, I wasn't born to coach and doing, I've played the game, I know the game, but now it's kind of my time just to appreciate my kids. And that's the only reason why I retired. I just want to retire because I want to be running around with my son playing footy.
Yeah.
And that's the thing I'm looking forward to, and I'm still looking forward to now. You know, he's recently he's played his third game, and I just love being there for him. You know, it's just man. Like
it's an awesome feeling, isn't it, mate?
As I said before, man, do something that you love doing. Don't do something that you don't enjoy doing, because you end up going place to place. Stick with one thing and going for it, man.
Yeah. No, that's it, man. Beautiful. Mate, that's all I've got for you, mate. Akuila Uate, thank you for joining me on NRL Fans WA. I really appreciate you giving me your time. Like I said, I know you're a busy man.
Yeah.
Best of luck with everything
Appreciate
you're doing. Great work with your support, being a support worker. It takes a hell of a person to do that sort of stuff. You know, and there should be more people doing it.
Thank you, brother.
It's a job that needs to be done, and yeah, it's great. If you're ever over in Perth, mate, you and the family, make sure you let me know, and we'll catch up for a coffee or something, go out to dinner or lunch.
Hey,
or something.
don't worry, bro. Yes, for sure, man. I'll definitely. That's the only place that I haven't been.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been there for the game. I never, you know.
Yeah, never got around.
But man, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for reaching out, man. I'm always happy to talk about this kind of stuff to help. You know, obviously you're doing a great job, as I said before, man. I appreciate a lot of coaches like you guys, like you're giving your time to doing all what you're doing right now. And but just let you know, man, I appreciate all that stuff, man. I appreciate you guys, and you know, all over Australia, whoever's listening, just keep doing whatever you're doing, man, because you're helping a lot of kids out there achieve their dreams, and they'll definitely remember that. You know, when they reach a high level of whatever dreams they want to be in the future, they always look back to, you know, where it all begins, where it all started, man. I appreciate what you're doing. Just keep going, man. Massive respect to that. Just keep believing, really. Yeah, just keep believing and keep living day by day.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, man. No, I really appreciate you giving me your time,
appreciate
buddy.
It. Definitely reaching out.
No, much love to you and the family, mate. And yeah, good luck with everything else, buddy.
Thank you. Same to you, my brother.
Thanks,
awesome.
Mate. See ya.
Thank you. Appreciate your time, man. Thank you. This is my see you later.
See you, bud.